Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to everybody around the world. Welcome back to another One Piece video featuring your girl, Nami. Coming at you guys with another spicy game today in the form of Nami versus Koby. Unfortunately, this is a very, very tough matchup all around. I feel like Koby doesn't get enough play, if you will. It seems like everybody and their brother is on a Luffy variant of some sort. And this matchup seems to be quite challenging for a lot of people that don't understand how Koby's abilities work and or how to deal with this matchup. Now, mind you, coming into this matchup at first glance with Nami, I had a hard time. Due to the fact that a lot of our stuff that we play in this deck is kind of like a tempo, if you will. You know, Nojiko's, Jozu's, things that we can bounce characters back to hand, or bottom decking with Red Rock, or Gravity Blade. Zeus is another very, very good card here in this matchup, in which Koby can just play around with his leader ability. It's very, very difficult to get rid of cards off board when Koby can just place 3 cards from the trash back to the bottom of the deck to save that character. So you have to be a little bit mindful in this matchup and play for board, get bodies down, and be aggressive here. Koby does have some very, very strong units you guys need to be aware of. Hibari, of course, and Helmeppo. And then the big boy himself, the 8-cost drop, Koby. All of these cards are very, very scary and very hard for you to deal with because you cannot remove them if Koby has enough cards in the trash. So your Red Rocks here aren't going to work on your 8-cost Kobys, your Helmeppos, your Hibaris. Gravity Blade's not really going to do all too much due to the fact that Koby just has to activate his leader ability. So, let's see what we can do here in this matchup, what we can cook up, and I'll see you guys in a split second. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We're going to go ahead and dive into this matchup here. Yes, I am in a very, very bad spot for this video. I apologize. I have learned my lesson, and I will try not to sit here at an end table in the next video, because we have a really bad glare, like right above me. I didn't realize it until I, went back and watched the video. We have a pretty big glare here, so I'm sorry for that. We are playing Nami. This is going to be a matchup into Koby, in which they play down a blocker first. My buddy here is very, very competent when it comes to playing this leader. Unfortunately, I don't get enough practice into it, and probably a lot of you also don't get enough practice into this matchup. Like I mentioned, it is very, very challenging for you as a Nami player. I decided to go 6 here, simply for the fact, as I typically always do in every matchup, just to get a damage in and drop the Hiyori with the Kikinojo and Life. Unfortunately, he does guard out, and he does have a blocker on board, which he forgot, and I forgot, that that card is not a blocker on board currently, unless there's another Black Navy on the field. Then it gains blocker, and you guys will see this later on into the video where it does come up. But, in any case, let's go and try this again. Because we're at 5, and I believe we don't have Katakuri just yet. We do have 2 Kikinojos, which is not very relevant at this moment in time. I could try this again, right? We could go 6, or sorry, yeah. We can go 8 actually here. But I want to get down Cavendish on board. I typically never swing or never have this man on the field at all. And I think in this situation, it might be pretty valuable because we do have double Kikinojos in hand. We don't have a lot of big bodies. And hopefully he can dig in for some Big Moms. Because Big Mom here is very, very valuable. Or, valuable. What do you get off the draw here? Because Koby's going into 5. Which means this could be a Hibari play. I don't think they play anything else on 5 Dawn other than that. I think it's the Helmeppo on 6, right? Which is very, very important. Because Helmeppo allows you to like trash a card, then play a card from the trash on the board, and do the thing, which is really, really good. That's how the Koby comes into play. Speaking of which, well, there it is. Trashes the Hibari, draws 1, and he's going to play Hibari from trash probably here. At the time, I thought I was safe, right? I didn't think he had the card. He obviously got it, right? And then now in the situation, she can go minus 2,000 power to our Cavendish and then give the leader the ability to attack active characters. In this situation, Koby pretty much clears Cavendish, no problem. In any case, Cavendish gets to live another day, and that normally doesn't happen. So, I'm not going to complain. Alright, We do have Pudding, we have the 7-cost Mom. We're looking pretty good otherwise. Now that he's at 3 life, we're going to go ahead and take with Hiyori, and we'll replace that with Kikinojo. Hopefully this will come up later on, in which this will be pretty valuable here, because Kikinojo is a sticky body in this matchup, and he can't just remove it. He can attack into it by minusing the power. Cool. Either way, we get to draw life. Or, yeah, we get to draw life, basically. We've got 4 left. 5 left. We need to have 1 Dawn attached to Nami. We gotta go 6. Now he does have a blocker on board, considering there is another Black Navy character. Okay. Gives me a 2K. We'll go 7 with Cavendish. And this is probably like the first game in which Cavendish literally gets on the board. Typically I kind of throw him away for Nami effect, so it's kind of cool he's actually going to get me value for once. We'll pitch the Pudding, because we already have 1 in hand. And he gets a trigger himself. It's basically just another searcher. He's allowed to search 3 and then go ahead and grab a Navy type character and add it to hand. The rest go to the trash, right? So that also fuels the trash for Kobe's ability, the leader ability, which is nice. He's probably going to take the 8 cost. Oh, okay, never mind. I guess it makes sense to leave the 8 cost in trash, right? That way he can get it back with the helmet bow effect and stuff, play it back on board. We're going to double up here. I'm just hoping we can keep Cavendish on board for 1 more turn. Because now that Cavendish is rested, I guess rested or not doesn't necessarily matter, but he's going to be a target. 4... 8? Yeah, he's on 8 Dawn? Yeah, that's math. What is he attempting to do here? Another Hibari. Okay. There goes 5. Hibari does the thing, minusing the power on Cavendish. 3 Dawn left. For 3 Dawn, that's another blocker, right? Borsellino. If he wants to. Sometimes I forget the characters that he plays on board can just swing automatically because of their sword. It really throws me off. And I think a lot of people, if they're not prepared for Kobe, this is probably how they lose a lot of matchups, by not knowing the leader. So there goes the Law, in which we had the guard out for the Cavendish there. And then he swings the Kobe into the Shirahoshi because, you know, Hibari gives the effect for Kobe to do that. I want to protect this, but I don't want to toss 2 2Ks. But we're going to have to do it. I want to leave him on board at least 1 more turn. And Jozu and the Nojiko should be able to get value later on, once we get more Dawn. Because he only can use his leader ability once per turn. So if I Nojiko something and he decides to do the ability, I can play Jozu down to pop something else back to hand. That's going to be problematic, right? So he's got 2 blockers on board. We get another Shirahoshi here. I'm going to save Big Mom till later. I want to play Big Mom when he's at 1 life. That way he's just forced to heal me or go to 0. Because I think in this situation with him having 2 blockers up, he's probably fine, right? He's okay. He's got 5 in hand. It's less likely for damage to go through. So we're going to play down Nojiko here. I'm going to try to get cards out of trash. That way Jozu can do his thing. And we did choose Hibari to go back to hand. Which technically that's the only thing that we would want to go back to hand here. Okay. Yep, he kept the Kobe and the Kuzan in trash. Now we're still at 7. So we still have the opportunity to drop the Big Mom and attach Dawn to leader to swing for 6. But looking back on this, I do think it was the best idea to play Jozu here instead, and then save the Big Mom for later. Because like I mentioned, if we play Big Mom here, and let's say he does heal us, then we're probably going to take 2 damage next turn and go down to 2 life. Which is okay, but I think it's better to do a damage next turn and then play the Big Mom. That way he's forced to go to 0 or heal us in that situation. Let's go 6 into this. I just want to get cards out of hand here. And this is where we both forgot that that character is not a blocker anymore because there isn't a Black Navy type character on the board. That's why I bounced the Helmeppo back to hand, therefore he cannot gain the blocker effect. And I totally forgot about it, and I was just going to let it slide. Because, again, I forgot about it. And he's the one that realized it, so, it's cool playing with people that you know and are honest, because 9 out of 10, you know what I mean? What else we got here? That's pretty much it for us. He did take the damage, cool. And now we can go ahead and do our Nami effect and do the thing, because we're at 6 in hand. There's the Katakuri that we missed from earlier, unfortunately. We're looking pretty good, though. We still have 3 blockers in hand with an 8-cost kid, so. And we do have the Kikinojo in top life. So when he does want to remove the Cavendish, we can still replace it with another body on board here. Unfortunately, he's at 10 Dawn, so this is when all the big bodies are coming down. And for him, it's really going to be probably Kobe, another Helmeppo. If that's the case, that's 2 bodies on board, which is going to be problematic. Because remember, we bounced this one back to hand. He trashed a Kobe, he gets the draw, and then Kobe hits the board. And Kobe can attack active characters, so he can run that Kobe into the Jozu. Or he can run the Kobe into the rested Cavendish. So, there's a Doll. So Doll minuses Jozu by 6,000 power, and Doll is also a blocker. So, now he's got 2 blockers active on board, because he does have another Helmeppo, our Black Navy type character. And now he has to figure out whether or not, if he can remove both. Because right now, he targeted Jozu with a 6,000 power instead of targeting the Cavendish, and Cavendish is a 6k, so we should be okay. But Kobe's a big boy, and that's a lot of counter we'd have to pitch from hand and guard out for Cavendish. I think the Cavendish did his job at this point. And we're just going to let this go. Because this is way too many cards from our hand that we don't really have access to here. He's going to eat it anyway, no matter what. 3. Yeah, that's fine. So we'll let this go. Kobe gets plus 1,000 because of the Kobe ability. So he's going to be a 6k. So it looks like Hibari's going to go for lead here. There's a Kikinojo. And then Kobe clears the Jozu. And that should be it for him today. So that goes back to the bottom of the deck due to the fact that it has to remove from the board due to the effect. So we get Nojiko. 8-cost Kid. Kid would seem pretty good right now. But he has way too many bodies on the board here, in which he can probably just kill me next turn. If he wanted to. Because Helmeppo, Hibari, and then Leader Swing. And we have no blockers down. Perhaps we can get the 7-cost Mom, hit the board. He'd heal us, goes up, we go back up to 3. Which means we still have 3 Dawn left to play with. Thankfully that turned face down. Alright, we're going to drop the Mom. Yes, sir. Okay, we're looking pretty good. The downside is I want to drop double blockers, but I still need to have a Dawn under our leader here. We're going to try to put him to 0. He gives us a 2k counter. Remember, he's a 6k leader for this turn. drop Law. So now we get one blocker up. I don't necessarily mind if he wants to clear the Kikinojo here, because we can just heal another life. But having her on board right now is more helpful than her being in the trash, even though we get the extra heal. Because we've got one Kobe at the bottom of the deck and then one Kobe in trash. I don't know if he has an extra one in hand here or another Helmeppo to play another one down, so we can really only protect her once, unless he has another Hibari as well, which gives him access to attacking active characters, so that'd be problematic. So he gets the Searcher down. The Searcher does have the effect where they can trash it and then gain that extra power, which is problematic here too. What are you searching for? Another blocker. I mean, I guess that works, right? He can kind of wall up here with two bodies on board for a block, and I can't really remove both of them. Ooh. Unfortunate. That card is very, very good. Honestly, Impact is very strong. I forgot about that, actually. Swinging Nami and Hibari. We have to pitch a card with Leader Skill here. He still has 3 Dawn up, right? So we either don't pitch it and guard out with Law, then the Kikinojo can probably die here. We'll take this hit. I forgot about that. That's my fault. That's my bad. I even mentioned it too after I did it. That's rough. Going to go 7. Unfortunately, we kind of got to guard this here. Because otherwise, I would be relying on more blockers to prolong this game a little bit further. But if I go down to 1 life here, we'll pitch this for Leader Skill. And then he doesn't have that many cards in hand here for putting to get value, so this works out for me. I think that's it. No, wait. He drew the Borsellino from the search, right? So he does have access for that. There it is. So now he's back to 2 blockers on board. What do we get here? Oh, another Big Mom. Cool. We'll do the thing again. We'll drop Big Mom down, play Shirahoshi with it, and then follow up with 6 on our leader here. Because everything else in hand is kind of not relevant at this point. We'll go 7 with Big Mom. That's our second heal. We'll go 6. I guess we have to, right? It doesn't matter what we attack because he has double blockers on board. If we go face, he's probably not going to let that happen either. Yep, 2k. Gives me the doll. Won't pass it over. So we get a heal and another blocker. Which at this point, we're already laughing and having a good time. Unfortunately for him, it was very like, to get double heals back to back on the Big Mom is really going to change the game around for me. And I think he knows that too. Without having the Big Moms here, we pretty much lost this game, I think. And this is kind of how we stuck around versus Shanks earlier. Having the Big Mom on board, just giving me that 1 extra life, really allows us to make it to late game. And I know it's not as impactful as it would be in every matchup. For example, like Snake Man Luffy, it's not as valuable there because he just plays big bodies on board, and I can't really see enough Red Rocks or play Red Rock on board and develop a body and be fine. In every other matchup, Big Mom really can change a game just by getting that 1 extra life, which is really nice. Especially in removal decks or any deck that can go wide on board. If I can self-sustain, we're chilling. We really are. We're chilling. You want to heal me again? Please. Please do. I don't think he can keep the Kikinojo on board here, really. Because that means we get 3 attackers next turn. And at this point, he also needs to try to clear the Big Mom. Okay. And we have to stay healthy here too. The kid's going to be pretty valuable, so we can actually play kid next turn, unless we get another Big Mom here, another Katakuri. So here's all of my blockers from earlier that we did not see. We'll guard out. I always forget about that. And Kobe did attack into the Shirahoshi there. So I could have guarded with the Shirahoshi. And that's probably the better thing for me to do there. That's my second time I forgot in this matchup. Okay. We'll just give him triple Katakuri. We need to keep Big Mom on board. Now he's got 1 7k swing left. Kobe gets the boost due to the other Kobe on board. I forgot if we used leader skill already. I don't think so, right? I don't remember. I think he's contemplating on clearing the Kikunojo here. And now I was counting how many Kikunojos we had left, because he wanted to know if going for life was a good play. But if we get another body on board, that's pretty good for us. Gonna go 7 here. And we have to let it go. We'll heal up, go back up to 3. So now we've healed 3 times in 2 turns. He gets down another body on board for a blocker. That's 2 Kobes that have been bottom deck so far. 1 left in trash, and I don't know where the other one is. And he's got 1 in hand here. I think we're comfortable with the kid hitting the board, but we can also go to 4 life here with the Big Mom. So we're going to go ahead and do that. There it goes. You see how healthy we are now just with Big Mom being in play? It's crazy sometimes. He does have another Black Navy character on board as well, so he has 2 blockers up for now. And we get 2 attacks this turn, 1 with Big Mom and then 1 with lead. So we eat up 1 blocker. We can go 9k with Big Mom. And I'm actually not going to go for life here. I'm going to try to clear a body on board, which is going to force a block either way, right? Because he doesn't want to go to 0 here. If he decides to let this go, that means he gets to keep a blocker on board. But he does guard out. The reason why we don't go face is because we have Eustace Kid in hand. We're at 4 life. We're pretty healthy. We can play Eustace Kid next turn just to burn the life, and he has no blockers on board. Because he only has 2 cards now. Okay, so he gets another Helmeppo. He can still do the thing here. So I think he still has 1 Kobe. Yeah, he does. He has Kobe and trash. And he does have enough to clear the Big Mom on board. So, at least that's 1 problem gone here. But he has no blockers left unless he has 1 more in hand. Okay, brand new. He's searching for a blocker, I assume. He gets a Borsalino. Okay. Gets the Searcher. Plays the Searcher out. Over top of the brand new. Yep. I think he's looking for the 1-cost Navy blocker. I'm pretty sure. Okay, we get a 2k counter in X Drake. And now he has to do something about this board. Okay, so we're swinging in at Kobe on the Big Mom. We have to let it go because our hand's not very great right now. I mean, we do have the out for next turn, but you know what I mean. So he does have one more swing here with the Helmeppo. Oh, and the leader too, yeah. We get a Red Rock. Well, Red Rock the Searcher here. I also think he can still keep that on board, I believe, with the Kobe's ability, if I'm wrong. But I think that's how that works. I think he could have kept that on board. We'll go 7 lead here. We get a Soul Focus. Love to see it. Another Big Mom effect, you know? Was that 5 life, I think? So we've seen 4 Big Moms, a Kikinojo, or 3 Big Moms, Kikinojo, and a Soul Focus. Yeah, I think we've healed 5 times this game. And now we'll play the kid down and do the thing. I wish you guys could have heard audio for this game. This one was really, really fun. Unfortunately, this shop plays a lot of music, so copyright, you know. But it was a very, very good game. I hated this matchup overall, though. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the end of the video. And today we played around with Nami, playing against Kobe, up here at Curio Caverns in Virginia. I do hope you guys enjoyed this game. This was a very, very tough matchup overall, and I always hate this matchup. But I think it's because the first time I played against Kobe, I had no idea what I was doing. And that's because I'm supposed to learn every single leader that comes out, right? You know, I'm supposed to know every single leader that comes out. I have to get practice with them. I gotta do the thing. Kobe, on the other hand, I kind of ignored, to be fair. And I went into this matchup kind of blind. Now that I've been playing this matchup as Nami, a little bit of like repetition, I understand how it works. And I think a lot of people kind of just don't pay attention to Kobe because you don't see this leader that often, opposed of running into, I don't know, like the other 7 Luffys that are out there, for example. And Kobe is a very, very surprising deck. It's very, very good. It has sticky bodies on board in which you cannot remove. It allows him to attack into active characters. It minuses power with Hibari, with Doll. It's very, very good at what it does. It kills characters when you don't expect it. And at the same time, it cheats out 8-cost bodies that can just attack when they're played, which is very, very nice, while giving their leader an extra 1000 power. I think this deck is a little bit not represented as much as it should be. But overall, Nami, on the other hand, I try to create lists with this leader in which you don't typically run into. And this is why I stick with my 7-cost Mom. This is why I stick with Soul Focus. I love the fact that I can play around with Soul Focus with the Hiyori. And if you notice, we always go with a package with Hiyori if we're playing a yellow deck that can use this character, or sorry, that can use this card. So in other words, my flipping life basically is going to be Kikinojo and Soul Focus in pretty much almost all of my yellow decks. And a lot of people don't really expect this card, and they don't see it that often. Being able to stay alive into the late game is very, very good. Mind you, we don't have a lot of late game, but we do have a lot of ways to get Big Moms, Eustace Kids, and Charlotte Linlins down by drawing into them with our leader effect or getting a Cavendish on board, drawing into our bodies. It's very, very fun here. But overall, I do hope you guys enjoyed today's video. We will be firing off another one very, very soon. Unfortunately, my last video that's currently being uploaded, it takes a long time to render these here because I do shoot in 4K and then I upload at that point. Shooting in 4K takes a long time to break down, render, and then upload. It's a lot longer than they typically are here for like sim videos or what have you. So the previous video with Shanks should be up around like 8 o'clock-ish tonight. And then I'm hoping this video here gets out to you guys as well before tomorrow. So if not, it'll be out at midnight or like 1 a.m. or what have you. Either way, make sure you guys hit the like button on these videos and we get these floating around. I do appreciate everyone sticking around, coming to watch content here, especially the new formatted content when it comes to local stuff. So I'm very happy you guys are enjoying these. I got a bunch more to go out. And then tomorrow, or Tuesday, no, sorry, tomorrow or Wednesday, you guys will be getting green yellow Yamato. So stay tuned for that. Either way, this has been Pawseplays. Remember to smash the like button. I'll catch you guys later on. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see y'all later.